The Addams Family 2 is the cinematic equivalent of a dead fish handshake. Picture this: the Addams Family franchise, a beloved staple in the world of animation. Its idiosyncratic charm, peculiar humor, and delightfully dark undertones have always set it apart from the pack. Fans teemed with anticipation for the second installment, a sequel that promised to breathe fresh life into these iconic characters. But alas, the promise was broken. The Addams Family 2, rather than being a thrilling continuation, turned out to be a disappointing rehash of the original. It lacked the spark of originality that made the first film so captivating. The sequel felt like a tired, overused trope, merely recycling the same old jokes and plot lines without any fresh ideas or creativity. It was as if the creators had run out of steam, leaving the sequel void of the energy and innovation that marked the first film. The Addams Family 2 fails to live up to the legacy of its predecessor, falling flat in almost every aspect. The movie starts off on a wrong foot and never quite finds its balance. From the very first scene, The Addams Family 2 seems to be in a mad rush to set up its plot. It's as if the filmmakers were in a hurry to get to the punchline, forgetting that a joke is only as good as its setup. The result is a plot that feels hastily stitched together, lacking the careful thought and planning that makes a storyline engaging and believable. This hurried approach leaves the characters feeling flat and one-dimensional. We're introduced to them in such a quick succession that we barely have time to remember their names, let alone understand their motivations or connect with them on an emotional level. The Addams family, a clan known for their eccentricity and individuality, are reduced to caricatures, with their unique quirks and idiosyncrasies boiled down to a few forced jokes and catchphrases. Speaking of humor, it's clear that the filmmakers were aiming for a light-hearted and whimsical tone. But the humor in The Addams Family 2 feels forced and falls flat more often than not. The jokes are predictable and lack the subtlety and wit that marked the original series. The humor seems less like a natural part of the narrative and more like an afterthought, shoehorned in to fill the gaps in the storyline. These issues set a poor tone for the rest of the movie. If the start is any indication, viewers are in for a long, disappointing ride. The lack of a solid plot, fleshed-out characters, and genuine humor in the opening scenes foreshadows the shortcomings that plague the rest of the film. Instead of drawing viewers in and setting up an intriguing narrative, the start of The Addams Family 2 leaves them disoriented and disengaged. The start of The Addams Family 2 is a clear indicator of the disappointment that is to follow. Before we dive into the rest of our review, let's take a moment to talk about something crucial in our modern digital world: privacy and security. In this age of constant connectivity, our personal information is more vulnerable than ever. From hackers and identity thieves to intrusive advertisers, there are countless threats lurking in the digital world. But fear not, for there's a way to protect ourselves. This video is sponsored by Chungus VPN. For those of you who aren't familiar, a VPN, or virtual private network, is a tool that helps protect your online data by creating a secure connection to the internet. And when it comes to VPNs, Chungus is a name you can trust. Chungus VPN offers a range of features designed to keep your online activities private and secure. With servers in over 60 countries, Chungus VPN allows you to browse the internet anonymously, protecting your data from prying eyes. It also offers state-of-the-art encryption, ensuring that your information stays safe and secure, no matter where you are. But that's not all. Chungus VPN also allows you to bypass geo-restrictions, giving you the freedom to access content from anywhere in the world. So, whether you're protecting sensitive information or just trying to catch the latest episode of your favorite show while abroad, Chungus VPN has got you covered. Secure your online presence with Chungus VPN. Now let's get back to our review. After a sloppy start, The Addams Family 2 continues on a downhill journey. But before we delve into that, remember, your online safety is just as important as a good movie. So give Chungus VPN a try. Now, back to our scheduled programming. As the movie progresses, it's like watching a car crash in slow motion. Now, let's delve into the heart of the issue, the middle part of The Addams Family 2. It's a section that should be the meat of the story, a place for character development, plot twists, and engaging dialogue. Unfortunately, this movie misses the mark on all fronts. The storyline, for starters, is lackluster. It's as if the writers took a nap midway, leaving the storyline to wander aimlessly like a ship without a compass. The plot lacks direction and purpose, with characters going through motions that feel more like obligations, rather than organic developments. Then we have the plot twists. We all love a good twist, don't we? Something that makes us gasp, makes us think, makes us question everything we thought we knew about the story. Well, The Addams Family 2 offers none of that. The plot twists are as predictable as the sunrise, lacking the surprise element that makes them enjoyable. Instead of creating suspense or intrigue, they merely affirm what the audience has already figured out. And let's not forget the uninspired dialogues. They're as flat as a pancake, lacking the wit and humor associated with the Addams Family. Conversations are stilted and feel forced, with characters spouting lines that feel like they've been plucked from a generic scriptwriting manual. There's no sense of individuality or personality in the dialogues, making the characters feel hollow and one-dimensional. All these issues contribute to a tedious viewing experience. Instead of being engrossed in the story, viewers are likely to find themselves checking their watches, wondering when the movie will end. It's a disappointing descent into mediocrity for a franchise that once held so much promise. The Addams Family 2 manages to turn a potentially engaging plot into a monotonous, uninspiring mess. It's like a downhill journey without brakes, rapidly spiraling towards a crash that we all can see coming, but are powerless to stop. Just when you think it can't get worse, The Addams Family 2 proves you wrong. As we navigate the final stages of this unfortunate sequel, we're plunged into a whirlpool of confusion and dissatisfaction. The movie's conclusion, much like the rest of its narrative, is a haphazard mishmash of unfulfilled promises and unanswered questions. Imagine sitting through a meal that's all appetizer and no main course. That's what the ending of The Addams Family 2 feels like, a rushed attempt to tie up loose ends, leaving the audience with an unsatisfying taste in their mouths. The characters, who we've come to know and somewhat tolerate, are left hanging in a limbo of unresolved storylines. Where is the closure? Where is the character development? Where is the satisfying resolution that we, as an audience, crave? The Addams Family 2 fails to deliver on all these fronts. The conclusion of The Addams Family 2 is a fitting end to a thoroughly disappointing movie. In summary, The Addams Family 2 is a sequel that should never have been made. Let's retrace our steps through the ill-conceived journey of this film. The plot, a muddled mix of cliché and contrived situations, fails to engage or even make sense. The characters, once endearing in their kooky eccentricity, are reduced to flat, uninteresting caricatures. The humor, which should have been the film's saving grace, is a sequence of tired, recycled jokes that fall flat at every turn. And let's not forget the glaring lack of originality. The sequel seems to have been churned out without a single new or innovative idea, banking solely on the popularity of the original. It's a classic case of sequelitis, where the magic of the first film is diluted in a misguided attempt to replicate its success. The Addams Family 2 is a stark reminder that not all sequels are necessary or even worth watching.